What's going on, everybody? Happy Thirsty Thursday. This is Guns Picks, and you're watching the DadBodds podcast, episode number 113. Man, oh man, we are getting in the thick of it in college basketball. We're going to hit tourneys. Tourneys are already started for some of these mid-major teams. We're going to be talking about a lot of the major conferences today with a few of my guests that are sitting in the queue right now, and I'll introduce these guys properly. Now, you can check out Chris Duke is going to be joining me here. You can find him on Twitter at HazmatSuit23. And Joey Cheese, you can find him on Twitter as well at DGen4Life84 on Twitter. These are the Fade U Sports boys from the Fade U Sports podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, for the first time on the DadBodds podcast, Joey Cheese and Chris Dukes. What's going on, guys?
What's up, Guns? Dude, that was like one of the dopest intros I've ever seen.
This is what I do. This is a professional podcast here, folks, if you don't know.
I'm not even kidding. That like made me feel good about myself.
Yeah.
That was dope.
So, I guess, Joey, I want to say congratulations. You're now an official member of Fade U Sports. You've actually been promoted from being a contributor to now you are on officially the podcast. Is that correct?
Yeah, officially a dad. Officially, the boys asked me to be a part of the group. We're like a couple peas in a pod, man. We're become really good friends. You know, shoot the shit on the daily basis. Really happy to be a part of Fade U. Bunch of really good guys, and I like the direction these guys are going. So yeah, we fit right in with these boys.
As we're all wearing team hats, like we just won the championship, and we're cutting down the net.
Yeah.
Chris, I'll start with you. Tell me a little bit about what Fade U is and how it started, came about, and how long you've been doing it for.
Yeah, it's been probably like 2 or 3 years now. We've been doing close to 3. Been doing some football contests. Had a couple guys place. Our one buddy was like 26th this year, and they got like 27th a couple years ago in the Westgate. So got some money back, and that's good. Great records. But we had a guy that I went to college with at Fresno State, and we all came down in SoCal, and we all hit each other up. We're like, oh, we all live in SoCal now. Let's hang out. Let's watch sports. Let's watch football, basketball. And then one of their buddies said, you know, we got to make a Fade U. Like they made it's like all these. They said all these narratives are out there, right? Oh, this team's better. This team's this. We got to bet. And someone's like, Fade U. So they said we got to make it like a school, right? Miami U. You know, so we're like Fade U, throw the U in there, Fade University type thing. And we'll just kind of go over things to, you know, take with a grain of salt, things to really like, you know, harness, fade the public, all this kind of thing to go, you know, learn Fade 101, if you will, sports betting. So here we are. It's been great. We got to meet some great guys. You know, Dave Guns, you know, Dave,
yep.
And Cheese. Kelly,
yeah.
She's our proxy. It's great. It's just a lot of people come together betting sports. It's awesome.
Yeah, Dave spoke highly of you guys. I didn't know you guys are in connection with others. Shout out Nerd Radio too. Yeah, Dave's a real good guy, and hopefully we're going to be doing more content on the channel as this sports wagering network grows and grows. But I know you guys don't want to talk about you know, the wax poetic about these guys. Go check them out on YouTube and Twitter at Fade U Sports on Twitter. And you can go check them out on YouTube as well. I think they have the link in on their Twitter handle. So let's get into the nitty gritty. But I want to talk to my boys in the chat. Michael is always joining. What's up, my friend? What's going on? Give you some gunshots for that one, man. Alfonso, what up, Guns? How'd you guys like those plays last night? 2-1. Still need to get the sweep on the late night bangers, but we're working on it. And man, did we kill it yesterday, going 12-4. In college basketball. So let's go. Your boy is in the building. Oh, my friend, what's going on? All right, enough of the. Let's get right into college basketball talk, shall we? All right. Joey's loving this stuff, man.
Dude, I'm more and more impressed like every minute, dude. I'm not even kidding.
We're here to talk about conference tourneys. We're going to have some picks tonight. Don't worry. These plays aren't going to – the ones that I'm going to be giving out tonight, they don't start till 11. And I know Chris has a play that starts at 11 as well. So we have plenty of time. Relax. Sit it back. Let's talk conference tourneys. And we could spend all night talking about every single one. We talk about the mid majors, but no, we're gonna talk about the big boys, the heavy hitters, the big bats on this one, and we're gonna start this off properly. So ACC conference, their tourney is gonna be coming up here next week. All these tournaments are gonna be starting next week. Not the strongest conference as they have been in the past. Really, the teams. I think we have like 2 or 3 ranked teams that are in ACC was kind of remarkable this year. They just had a real down year. I'll start with you, Joey. We're basically going to break these down. I want to tell the crowd how we're going to do this. We're going to talk. We're going to pick a winner and we're going to pick a sleeper on each one. But I'll start with you, Joey. What do you think about the ACC tourney?
So real quick, before we get into the ACC, I think it's interesting. I heard last night that Ken Palm rates every team in the Big 12 higher than Pitt, who is number 1 in the ACC, which just goes to show how absolutely awful this conference is as a whole.
Yeah. Actually, they're number 3. Pitt's
right,
number 3. You have Miami, Virginia, and Pitt.
That's right. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, I don't know. With the ACC, I mean, it's really a crapshoot, right? We obviously haven't seen any lines. We don't know who the betting favorites are going to. Obviously, Miami is going to be up there. But I'd be looking to play, NC State. It's just a team that I've liked all season. I know they have some really bad losses. They also have some really good wins. Traquavion Smith, who's their leading scorer, kid's phenomenal, averages 17 and 5 assists a game. Kid's good. He's a baller. Shoots 34% from 3. Could light up the scoreboard. We all know that. We've seen him play. Some good wins from NC State. They beat Duke by 24. They have one of their better wins of the season versus Miami. They beat Miami. It was 83-81. And they have the season sweep of Wake Forest. I mean, I know Wake's not the Wake Forest we're used to, but still, very, very good basketball team. And then the boot, they beat UNC, who I think is a sleeper in this conference, who I think has a chance to also, we were talking about earlier before we went live, come up with some sleepers for the conference. UNC, I mean, been getting no love lately, right? Been hearing that they might not make the tournament. I think they need a good showing in the ACC tournament in order to make March Madness. So yeah, for me, if it's not NC State, it's UNC for me. Those are the 2 teams I'd be looking to play in the ACC and nobody else.
Just firing shots early. So Joey Cheese, he likes NC State, and his sleeper is going to be UNC. I'll pass it to you, Chris. What do they call you? I forget what they call. What did Dave say? You're like bad poopy shits or something like that. I can't remember what the name is. You're muted.
Hammer poop, I think they call it.
Hammer poop. That was it. I'm sorry. My apologies. But Chris, what do you think of the ACC tournament? What do you pick?
I'm going to go with the 2nd seed. Probably I lean towards. I love defense. Anybody that knows me, I love dogs and unders. A bet poop. Virginia, lock it up. They'll beat you 51-50 if they have to. I'll lean that way, see if they can lock up. They lost to Miami earlier in the year, so maybe they got a chip on their shoulder for the ACC tourney. They'll be like Cheese said, the Miami, Virginia, Duke. They'll be all the top. You could probably get a little value on them though. And then I'll go with another team that's down there near NC State. I'll go with the team that people probably don't like too much because they just have the worst loss maybe of the year against Louisville. I'll go with Clemson. They're probably good value on Clemson there. They're still 21-9. They've got some good wins over Duke. I think they did beat NC State earlier too. So I think they're going to be feisty and want something to prove. I think they're probably in the tourney. It's not like they're fighting. They're not. They should be in the tourney. But I just think they're feisty enough, and they play tough games. Some of the games they've lost have been tight. Like they lost by 4 to Miami.
I think they blew out NC State last Saturday.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
25 points. Lost it. They played Virginia pretty tough again. Low scoring game, grinded it out, but Virginia obviously ended up winning by 7. So
PJ Hall's filthy.
I like that. Yeah, a lot of the guys they've got like their top scores are all like 15, 50. They equally contribute. You're going to get about 50, 60 points out of a few guys every game. And, they score a lot for sure. So
we love it here. We love it. All right. So great picks on that one. I think we're going to have a little bit of alignment here, but no one's talked about the one team. And this is the one team that is my darling on this one. The team I think is going to win the conference is the Duke Blue Devils here, like situational play. So my vision is basically looking at the path of what they need, what they have to do to get there, the quarterfinals, the semis, and all the way to the championship. So situationally in the quarterfinals, I see them playing Clemson because it's the 4 and 5 seed. It's a revenge. It's also, I think they can get through Clemson, no problem. If you actually look at Clemson, they're not a great covering team, but I think the Duke's youth it took them this long to grow and actually become a team. They've actually started to play their best ball right now, as does UNC. So these are the two teams that I see are the front runners to win the ACC tournament. I don't think it's Miami, and I don't think it's going to be Virginia. So you get past Clemson, then you got to go play Miami. Guess what? Miami's a revenge spot. They got their ass kicked in Miami. I mean, absolutely crushed. However, they did win when they played in Cameron Indoor. So I think that in that revenge spot, I think that they're going to come in with a chip on their shoulder. John Shire's going to have those guys cooking at the right time, and I think they're going to beat Miami. And then it's up to I think they're going to have to play like a UNC or something like that in the championship. And that could potentially be a revenge spot. I think we'll talk about Saturday in a second. But I think that's going to be it's going to be a Duke UNC final, and ESPN will be titillated with seeing something like that. So I think that's going to be something that happens in this one because UNC is playing for their tournament lives. And my tournament sleeper is UNC just for that moment. Listen, they can't afford to lose any more games. They're sitting there on the bubble. I think they're in the first 4 out currently, so they're going to have to play a very strong conference tournament. They're going to have to play their lights out on Saturday if they even want a shot. But UNC, the way they're playing right now as a team, the way they handled Virginia, and they're just going through, they're doing what UNC does. So you got to go with the Blue Bloods when it comes to getting into the NCAA tournament. I think that's what's going to happen in this one. My sleep for UNC, and I think Duke wins the ACC. As we move along, we're going into the Big 12, folks. We're going to be talking everything like Kansas, Texas. This is supposed to be one of the strongest conferences in the country. I'll start with you yet again, Joey Cheese. What are your thoughts on the Big 12 tourney?
Yeah, you just listed both teams for me. For me, it's Kansas and Texas or nobody. Kansas is what? They won 7 in a row. Jalen Wilson and Grady Dick. I don't really have to say much about those guys. Everyone loves Dick, right? Jalen Wilson's filthy. Jalen Wilson's filthy. McCullers is raw. They have 4 players that average double figures. Kansas lost 3 in a row back in mid-January, right? Losses at K-State to TCU, who TCU actually beat them both times this year. Mm-hmm. And then at Baylor, that's 3 of their 5 losses. All 3 ranked teams. For me, it's Kansas in this spot. I can't really say I put my neck out for anyone else, but long shot. I think it would have to be the Texas Longhorns. There ain't really much else in that conference I would play. Baylor without George isn't a team I'd be looking to play. Once he comes back healthy, I think they're a whole new I think it's a whole new, ball game at that point. But right now it's Kansas, Texas, and nobody else for Joey Cheese.
We cashing, baby.
Oh, we love it. We love it. I think we're going to have some alignment there once it gets to me, but I'll pass it on to Chris. Big 12, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'll go with, obviously it's hard to bet against Self and Kansas, but I'm going to probably lean towards the other Kansas school in Manhattan. I'll go with K-State to maybe take down that tournament as one of the ones that's more, favored. Like they're tough. I like that new coach. You watch them and they're a feisty bunch. Maybe it means more. We talked about it with Trig on the pod, the Fiji pod the other day, like how much does it mean to these top teams? You know, are they just trying to stay healthy for the tourney? Obviously, the Natty means a lot more. So maybe this tourney means a little bit more to K-State. So lean that way. And then, yeah, I mean, one down the line, I mean, I guess, you know, obviously I like Texas too, Cheese. Maybe TCU, maybe the Horned Frogs take a little look, get some good value.
Mike Miles is so filthy.
Oh,
He's so filthy. He really is.
Really fun team to watch, aren't they? And when they're on fire, I mean, some big win. I mean, that close game, they almost blew it against Texas last night, but they held on, and you know they've got firepower. Beat Kansas by 23 at Fog Allen. I mean, nobody does that, obviously, so that's really good. And we'll see if they can make a little run as a dog.
Yeah, that was an egregious finish there. No, unnecessary dunk. I don't think if you're a favorite in the game, you should be able to charge to storm the court. I mean, I don't think that's pretty much unnecessary. You're the number 22 team and you beat the number 8 seed. It's fine.
Yeah,
it should be.
Just you were a favorite.
Yeah, they were favored.
Yeah.
They weren't like a 10.5 point dog and they had no shot. I mean, they were projected to be the team to win that game.
Act like you've been there before.
Yeah. So that may screw them up on Saturday. Who knows? I mean, you look at motivational factors there. That might be the straw that broke the camel's back on that one. But let's talk about the Big 12. My thoughts on this one is pretty much on the same alignment as Joey here. We're going to go Kansas on this one. Listen, they're 7-3 straight up on the road this season. No other team in the Big 12 is above 500 on the road. And I know it's neutral court. It's a whole different situation, whole different environment. But if you're playing on a court that you're not used to, I think I'm going to have to be taking Kansas on this one. I think Kansas is coming into its own now, and I don't think they're going to stop on this one. They want the number 1 seed or one of the seeds in the top 4 in the bracket. I think they're going to be perfectly in that spot, and to do that, I think they're going to have to steamroll all their competition in the Big 12. Now the sleeper again, Texas. When you look at them from their statistical watermark on this one, ranked 10th in Ken Palm overall. They're 17th in offensive efficiency, 25th in defensive efficiency. They aren't a great road team, but I feel that like with the statistical fabric, they'll just make a run on this one. And right now they're kind of getting, you know, they got punched in the mouth versus TCU. I hope that carries over into Saturday, and they'll be able to take that momentum with them going into the conference tournament play. I mean, I think like Joey said, I said those are the 2 teams that I see that have the shot to win that is either Texas or Kansas. So I'm picking Kansas, and my sleeper is going to be Texas. All right, before we get into the Big East, the Big 10, and well, we got a few more on this one. We'll be killing these. Don't worry about it. I got to properly give an ad read for our beautiful sponsor, Viva Tequila Seltzers.
This podcast is sponsored by Viva Tequila Seltzers.
Yeah, you saw the hats and you see the boys drinking the juice right now. This podcast is sponsored by Viva Tequila Seltzers. Viva Tequila Seltzers is a refreshing and drinkable hard seltzer. 88 calories, 0 carbs, 0 sugar, and 4.5 ABV. Viva is the perfect drink for your post-game celebrations as it was created with the active lifestyle in mind. Viva flavors their tequila seltzers because flavor is the spice of life, and they like their drinks with a little bit of a kick, just like we like to live our lives. Viva flavors pair perfectly with their artisanal Blanco tequila for a subtle and refreshing drink. Their belief is to live long, live well, and live it up. Hashtag Viva Up, and go check them out on Twitter at Viva Seltzers, and go check them. If you want to go order them damn things, go check out www.vivaseltzers.com. There we go. That's how you do an ad read, boys. All right. Big East. They used to call it the Big Least. It used to be the most, when I was a kid, I loved watching the Big East tournament. It was my favorite tournament, and I was a fan of an ACC team. But I love this tournament so much. It's, of course, the fabric and what Big East is now completely changed. Joey, your thoughts on the Big East tourney?
So I know Duke knows where I'm going here. Guns, you might have seen it. I gave it out on Twitter a couple weeks ago. It's my favorite future of the season. I gave out UConn plus 2,500 to win the Natty. So there ain't no way in hell I'm picking against them to not to win the Big East championship.
Bang.
Yeah, I mean, look at Ken Palm, 7th in offensive, right? 7th in adjusted offensive efficiency and 23rd in defense. I mean, the writing's on the wall for this team. I mean, they up and down the court, they score at will. They got two of the best bigs, in my opinion, in the conference, in Klingham and Sinogo or Sinaba, however. Yeah. Jordan Hawkins is an absolute stud. Joey Calcaterra is like shooting 45% from the three from deep. They have 5 players that shoot. Oh, I have it written down. They have 5 players that shoot over 35% from deep.
Wow.
I don't know how many teams in college basketball can say that. Jordan Hawkins shoots 40% from 3. Calcaterra 44. Kerrigan, Newton, and Sinogo all over 35%. This is a team that we know could win the big games, right?
Yeah.
So they had that real bad run about a month and a half ago. They lost like 6 out of 7 or whatever it was. I went back and looked. I blame 4 of those losses on Hurley. At least 4 of them on the coach. Coach is absolutely brain dead.
Right.
But this is a team that if they get hot and they could run through this tournament, I think they carry all that momentum into March. And this is a team that I expect to make a deep run for the Natty. So there's no one else in the Big East I would pick to win it. It's UConn. It's UConn or pass for me. There's no sleepers. There's no second place. It's full-blown UConn cock here.
Yeah. Give her the old cocker, they say. Shots fired on that one. Chris, what are your thoughts on the Big East?
Man, I Joey Cheese just did a great job there. I have them 26-1. I did it too. UConn, love it. The only thing they split Marquette and UConn split the season series 1-1. So I guess the only thing I'd say, I know he said it's UConn or nothing. I guess I'd say the one I look. This is it's awesome to see this conference is so bunched up. Like, right. Marquette's 16-3, Xavier's 14-5, Providence is 13-6, Creighton is 13-6. Can you believe Connecticut's all the way down there 12-7? You wouldn't think they had lost that many in conference. It's crazy. So it's a cool bunched up conference. This is one of those ones where it's like, are we shocked if any of those top 5, 6 do it, or even like Nova or something? So, but I'll do Marquette. They're won 10 of their last 11, coming in hot. I guess if it's not UConn, I'll stick with the Golden Eagles from Marquette.
Love it, love it, love it. In full alignment on the show on this one. I don't even have a sleeper on this one because my sleeper is UConn as well. Like you just look at the stats on this one. They're ranked 5th overall in Ken Palm. I had some different numbers, and I went through them this afternoon. I have them 9th in offensive efficiency, 21st in defensive efficiency, but I have them winning 7 out of their last 8 games. But if you actually look at those games, they actually won all those games by 9 points or more. This is a team that's actually heating up at the right time. They're sitting here in the 5th seed for the Big East right now, and I just think that there's nobody that right now can match up with this team the way they're playing right now. They had a couple of fits early on, somewhere around the January area. Yep. That's what kind of broke them down to the where they're sitting right now. But I think that's going to be washed out the window. All is forgotten, and they're going to go through there and steamroll the competition on this one. So yeah, it's all UConn for me on this one or nothing. That's
Guns. They came out the gate last night. I tweeted it 26-2.
Yeah, I know they were down. They were up 40-8 at one point.
Yep. 26-2 right out the gate.
I took them at -17.5, and I'm like, you were just riding UConn till the train crashes right now because they are red freaking hot.
Don't let UConn get hot. I'm gonna be a fucking mess on Twitter.
Yeah, I can't wait to see where these teams get seeded too. I have like 4 or 5 in mind that, like, if I'm going to put a future on, there's going to be some real good value, and UConn is definitely one of them. Let's talk. Let's move on to the Big Ten. Now, the Big Ten this year, they're just eating each other alive. And basically, if you're playing at home, that's the team that's pretty much going to win 9 times out of 10. I was like, you check out their records on the road. It's just, I think they only have like 2 teams that have a winning record on the road and in conference, and that's Purdue and that's Northwestern. Joey, thoughts on the Big Ten?
So like nothing crazy here, but so I'm gonna get away from Purdue. I'm gonna get away from Northwestern. Obviously, we don't know what the odds are right now, but I'm looking for value here. I'm probably not going to find it with a Purdue or Northwestern. I'd be looking to play Indiana here. Two big wins versus the best team in the conference, right? They beat Purdue in Purdue, and then they beat them back at home too. I think Trace Jackson Davis is the best player in the conference. Yeah, I mean, I'm not even going to go much more into it. It's Indiana for me or nobody. It's really it. I don't need to look anywhere else.
Yeah, he doesn't need a tournament sleeper. Indiana is his pick on this one, and we'll be
my sleeper. They're my pick and my sleeper.
A double down on the Indiana Hoosiers. But I saw them play last night, and I had some questions about Indiana after that game. Oh my God, did they get destroyed by Iowa?
They did.
Chris, what are your thoughts on the Big Ten tourney?
Great segue, Guns, because I'm going with the Hawkeyes as my long shot here. They're feisty. They just took down the Hoosiers. Aline, I mean, if you're going to go chalk, I will. I mean, we just talked about it on another pod too. Just because you win 2 times doesn't mean the whole you get. Don't go with that whole narrative. It's tough to beat a team 3 times, but it will be tough because Purdue will have want to get that win if they do face Indiana. But I'll go with the Hawkeyes. I mean, you saw them. I mean, who comes back down 11 with a minute left or whatever and sends it to OT and then ends up covering against Sparta? That's beautiful.
Oh, that was beautifal. I had Iowa in that game. Are you kidding me?
I thought it was 6 and they closed at 5.5. 5.5. What a coincidence.
Crazy. Yeah, Hawkeyes get hot. They could do it, like you said, Guns. Yeah. It's bunched up. They're just beating up on each other. So we'll see if the guys can make their threes.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, I got Iowa as my sleeper on this one. So I mean, they won the tournament last year. So they're not, there's no surprise for them getting as far as they can in the conference tournament because they've been there before. And a lot of the guys remember winning that tournament that are still there now. They have 11 losses too, and I think that's key to know too because they're actually playing for their NCAA tournament lives as well. They're going to have to go and prove themselves and get a resume built. And the best way to do that is just win your conference and you get an automatic bid. They're also ranked they're very good on offense too. Ranked 3rd in offensive efficiency in KenPom. Their defense is in the lower 100s though. So as far as if they do make the NCAA tournament, they're not a team that I would back personally going far in the NCAA tournament. But I think for the conference standpoint, they're in a good spot. But it's not the team that I'm picking to win the tournament. I'm actually going to Michigan, the Wolverines on this one. Listen, they've won 6 out of their last 8. You have to go with the Blue Bloods, the guys that have been there before. They're a seasoned team. They have 12 losses currently, possibly 13. And as I'm watching them play Illinois right now, and they're down, so they can't afford to lose going into the conference. They're going to have to go make a run in the conference tournament to even get a blink by the committee to get onto the seeding, or they're going to end up packing their happy asses to the NIT. So I think they're going to be poised to make a run here, and I think Iowa's in the same boat. Those are the 2 teams to pick. I don't think Purdue's going to make it very far, and quite frankly, they don't have to. Indiana's just, I don't know where their heads are at right now. They're not playing, personally, my opinion, they're not playing their best ball right now. Maryland is a team that they're not playing in Maryland, so you can't back them. They suck on the road. And then Northwestern, the last 4 or 5 games, they're just regressing. They're turning into what they were last year. I mean, this is a team that you can't back as well. And then you go further down, Michigan State, Illinois, Rutgers. I mean, those are teams that I'm not going to be backing on this one. Yeah, it's like Michigan and Iowa for me on that one. So those are the 2 teams I like in the Big Ten. Wow, we're cooking with absolute fire on this one. Thank you for everybody in the chat. Hey, if you're watching right now, hit the like and subscribe button. What are you doing? What are you doing? Hit it now, please, and make sure you share the info with everybody about the Sports Wagering Network. Also, get into the chat, boys. Give me what your picks are for the conference tournament play. I'll put them up on the chat while we're talking the remaining 2 conferences that we're going to go over right now. Michael says, whoa, Wichita just barely covers the 17.5. Thank you. Winner, winner, winner. Cash it, baby.
Cashing, baby.
That's what we're talking about. We're going to have an absolute beautiful day. And I'm surprised because they're playing the number 1 team in Houston. All right, let's go into the Pac-12 on this one. The West Coast, the degenerate specials, the ones you put in your bets if you're on the East Coast and you go straight to bed. If you're an old bastard like myself. Let's break down the Pac-12. I'll start with you, Joey. What do you thought?
So the Pac-12 is a conference. I don't really watch too much Pac-12 basketball. I mean, obviously I'm on the East Coast in Boston. You know, other than Saturday games, I'm not – obviously I follow the conference. I know who's good, who's not. But as far as watching games, if it's not a Saturday game or a mid-afternoon Sunday game, I don't watch much. But from what I have seen, it's UCLA or nothing. And that's really all I got for the Pac-12. I can't see anyone else winning that. I guess you could probably make a case for USC, but other than that, I think it's those 2 or nobody.
I think a lot of people are going to be putting in future tickets for UCLA to win the championship as well.
Yeah, they're up there. They're ranked. They're number 2 in adjusted defensive efficiency on KenPom. Yeah. I mean, they stuff you. They stop you from scoring, and that's what you need to win championships, right?
Yep, absolutely, yeah. Absolutely. So, going to you, Chris. What are your thoughts? Big Pac-12.
Yeah, it's tough. I know Arizona beat UCLA earlier, and they have one more game here, I think, this week before they go into the tourney. I'll go with the other team that's at the top as my quote unquote like chalky. I'll go with the Wildcats, Arizona, and then I'll go with a team that's kind of feisty, and I think there might be some value on them. We'll see. I know you guys like UCLA tonight, which might even give me more value come the tourney. I'll go with the Sun Devils, Arizona State, see if they can get hot and in the Pac-12 and see if they can and make a name. They're probably in. They're 20-9. They should probably be in the tourney, but we'll see if they want to get hot and win the whole thing.
They are a good squad. That's one of the squads I've seen play in the Pac-12. They're pretty good.
Just making picks. Slap your bookie for you, please. God damn it. Man, I think both of you guys have been like stealing my notes or something like that. I don't know how you're doing it if you're seeing through my screen right now, because I picked UCLA to win the conference on this one. And my key points on this one, UCLA and Arizona played each other last year in the Pac-12 championship. Arizona did win the conference. So there is a revenge spot, in my opinion. I think those 2 teams are the best 2 teams. Maybe USC can kind of challenge in there. I'm not sure. Arizona State's another one. My sleeper, though, I think from a value standpoint, like Chris just said, I think Arizona State's got the value on this one. They're 7-4 straight up on the road, so they know how to play away from home. They've had a tough road for them to finish the season too. They're going to have to play UCLA, which is tonight, and they're going to have to play USC. So they're going to be primed and ready playing high-level competition before they get into the conference tournament. So I think this is a team that can probably sneak in, and the next thing you know, they're in the semifinals. They're going to be in a perfect spot as a dog and have a chip on their shoulder, and they know how to play on the road. They know how to play away from Arizona State. So, yeah, I think that's a pretty good sleeper pick. But UCLA is, like Michael said in the chat. I mean, UCLA is one of the most complete teams in the Pac-12. Obviously,
how about in the country?
Yeah, you can take it even a step further. Yeah. I mean, them, Houston, those are the teams that really stick out in my mind as just absolutely complete teams. And yeah, those are the 2 plays that I have for the Pac-12. All right, now we're going to break down this conference. There's a little bit of a debate in this one because, in my opinion, I don't think this conference is very strong overall. You have Alabama, who is in shambles right now with everything that's going on off the court. And then the second team in the number 2 team in the conference is Texas A&M. I'm like, where did they come from? But man, I think Buzz Williams has got those guys cooking. What are your thoughts on the SEC, Joey?
I just want to go on record. Fuck Nate Oates and Brandon Miller.
Agreed.
Everything going on at Alabama, like straight scumbags. I don't know how this dude even sees the court. But enough of that. Basketball wise, I'd be looking to play Kentucky in the SEC. Coach Cal's got him playing good, right? 4 straight wins. Toshiba's a monster. Antonio Reeves, I mean, the dude can score. Toppin, you got Toppin at forward. I mean, the dude's filthy. Kentucky's clicking right now. I know a couple weeks ago we were talking about like Kentucky had fallen off the map, right? Like, and now, they've strung a couple wins together, starting to see some life from this team. I think Oscar is probably the best player in the SEC. I think he's better than Brandon Miller personally, and he's a big. So I don't know. For me, it would be Kentucky or nobody in the SEC.
Game update. Looks like Illinois and Michigan are going into OT, so this is going to be an absolute sweat for me as I got Illinois. Yeah, I can agree with you. I mean, Bama. God, I don't know what they're doing over there, especially with that story. It's unbelievable.
It's embarrassing.
It's absolutely embarrassing. But yeah, it looks like Joey's going to be taking the blue blood on this one, and I can't disagree with him on his take on this one. But I'll pass it on to you, Chris. What are your thoughts, SEC?
God rest anyone's soul that had under 144 in that Michigan game. Sorry, OT, where they don't call it undertime, right, Guns?
No, they don't.
Yeah, well, I like Kentucky too. We love Calipari getting his team ready right around March. But I'll go with the team that is kind of limping in here. Tennessee, 4-5, their last 9, just really not looking too hot. We'll see if they can, come into this SEC tournament and make some noise, like we said, especially if Bama has a little bit of this, like Joe said, just absolute bullshit going on. Hopefully they can do it, and we'll see. That'd be cool. A little in-state. Or right next to each other, Kentucky, Tennessee, right there, right next state, and get this SEC. I'll go with the Volunteers as my pick, and then I'll go with Kentucky, like Cheese said, as my little bit more probably value, a little down they're a little lower than Tennessee.
Yeah.
I like Tennessee a lot up until the Ziegler injury.
Yeah, they're a team that's kind of a falling knife, in my opinion. I don't know where their heads are at as far as going into this one, but gunshots along for Kentucky. Michael in the chat talking a little Kentucky, a little inconsistent. They go through big scoring droughts. Hey, you saw it last night against Vandy. It's like you think Kentucky's on their way to really steam up, and then they go and lay an egg versus Vanderbilt, which is kind of just a head scratcher. But who knows? Maybe they're just putting a smoke screen out there before the conference tourney. But let's talk the SEC on this one. And my pick, and I don't know why people are sleeping on this team. Texas A&M, the Aggies, man. Buzz Williams. Listen, that guy knows how to win conference tourneys. I think he drove a hapless Virginia Tech team pretty far in those tourneys. I do believe. Decent on both sides of the ball, too, as far as KenPom's concerned. 25th in offensive efficiency, 45th in defensive efficiency. And I'm telling you, those boys can guard on the ball, too. They can match up with anybody in the SEC. They can contest shots. They're a good rebounding team on the defensive end as well. I think this defense is going to carry them. They're 16-3 in their last 19 games, 14-4 in conference play. This is a team that is playing really well. And look at the situation. I just look at the whole entire situation. I just went down the board and just looked at the SEC overall. Bama, all their problems. That team is in trouble. It's like they were one of the best teams in college basketball, and then all of a sudden this story breaks, and they're not even focused. Their heads are not even in it.
Haven't covered a spread since the news broke.
Exactly. And then you have Tennessee. Tennessee is 4-5 straight up in their last 9 games, so they're falling. So who do you got left? You got Missouri, you got Kentucky, you got Auburn, you got Arkansas, you got Mississippi State. I mean, to me, I think Texas A&M is the more complete team on this one. And I don't think they're going to just go into the conference tournament and just kind of go, you know what, we're just going to get ready for the NCAA tournament. That's not how Buzz plays. Buzz gets those guys working, and I think this is the team to beat in the SEC. So give me A&M as my pick. And also my sleeper pick on this one. I love defense, just like Chris does. And who's got a better defense in the SEC than Mississippi State? And Mississippi State is, I know they had a rough start in the conference, and they look like they were going to be one of the worst teams in the conference. They started 1-7 straight up, but they're 8-2 straight up in their last 10 in conference. Okay, and they played a lot of close games in that 1-7 stretch too. They played Alabama to the wire. They played Tennessee to the wire. So this is a team that can compete. They have a terrible offense. That's the problem. But I think with the defensive side of the ball, maybe this Mississippi State team can get poised and ready for a run. And listen, they're a bubble team, folks. I like it. I like bubble teams in conference play because they have something to prove and something to play for. And Mississippi State is in the last 4 in currently right now. They want to hold that spot and get into the tournament. They're going to have to prove out in the SEC. And I like Mississippi State as my sleeper on this one. So
That could end up being sneaky.
Yep, that's a sneaky one.
Yeah.
They're down the board. They're below. What are they? Eighth in the conference. So this could be one of those teams, and they'll have to play Alabama in the quarters. I mean, they could beat Alabama. It's a revenge spot too. They lost to them by 3, and I don't think Bama's going to play at all. They're going to get bounced in the quarterfinals, in my opinion. Let's just.
I agree
on that one. But that's
I'll be on A&M Saturday versus Bama.
Yeah, I mean, you got to fade Bama at this point. I don't know what else to do. I think if the books are smart, they should make A&M a favorite. I mean, make them like a 5-point favorite and really make all the public wares take Bama.
I think we get +2 at home.
We'll see what happens when the line comes out. All right. So that's going to do it. That's conference tournament talk right there. I don't want to get too far into the mid majors, but I just wanted to just shoot out a team that you think is going to make a splash in the NCAA tournament mid majors.
Dude, I'll go.
I'm sorry.
I think Oral Roberts can make a run.
Yes. Yep.
Dude, that point guard, Max Abmas, that dude is filthy. So I don't watch much mid-major basketball, obviously sometimes, but that kid is absolutely filthy. Oral Roberts scores like nobody else does. They've broken 100 4 times this year.
Yep.
They put up like a $120. Their 4 losses, I think they're 27-4 overall. They ran through the Summit League, 18-0. Their 4 losses are at St. Mary's, at Utah State, who we'll talk more about here in a minute, at New Mexico, and at Houston. Those are their 4 losses. Like, if there's any mid-major team here that can make a run, it's them. Remember I was talking about UConn had 5 guys that shot over 35% from 3? Yep. Check this out. Oral Roberts has 9 guys that shoot over 30% from 3. 9. 9 guys. Yeah. They score a million. 4 guys that shoot over 40%.
Damn, that's firing right there, folks. Oh yeah, that was on my short list right there. Is Oral Roberts. I think because they have the tournament experience, they have upset teams. They're well coached, and more often than not, they're working with juniors and seniors on that team. Anyways, Chris, you have any takes on mid majors that could make a splash in the tourney?
I don't have a huge breakdown, but I like the teams that we've seen before that have made it. Like I remember last year. Was it last year we saw Colgate give, was it Whiskey? They gave them a hell of a battle.
Yeah.
In the tourney, and Colgate's hot. They should, as long as they take care of business, and maybe out another East Coast team, the Charleston, dude. I think Charleston they get in there 28-3. They had a couple hiccups against like Drexel earlier in the year, but they're won like 10 straight again, I think, too. So Charleston gets in there, they might have that. You got to look at those like 12, 11 to like 14 seeds that people think that is just a free pass for like a 6, 7, 8 seed, not so fast. So maybe Charleston or Colgate, look for them to win, and maybe 1 or 2 get to at least a 32, maybe Sweet 16, something like that.
Yeah, Charleston was on my list. I also put like North Texas is another team that I like. Indiana State's another one that's really just been a double-digit favorite in the conference and not really challenged.
They just scored $1 million today.
Yeah, they did. They won by like what, 22, 23? I can't remember what it was, but yeah,
they scored like 90 points or something crazy.
Yeah, they're a terrific team. FAU is another one that could really make some fits. I just think like I was looking for those teams that actually went and played a major team and tried to maybe even stay in contention in a lot of those games. Those are really hard to find, especially early in the season, but it doesn't mean that these guys can't make a splash late in the season. So those are some teams to look for in that one. All right, so we're going to get into some plays on this one for the night slate, and it's going to be some bangers on the DadBodds Capper Breakdown.
It is time for the DadBodds Capper Breakdown.
Oh, yeah.
Now, Joey, I know we talked before the show. You don't have any late night bangers tonight. You're just kind of sweating out Fairfield. I don't know what happened in that game. I didn't see what the
Yeah, so Fairfield's tied. It's 64-64 right now with 5 minutes left. Yeah, I didn't play anything tonight. I leaned UCLA. I have some friends who I respect in the industry who didn't agree with my side, so it was enough to keep me off of it. But I know I'll let you do your breakdown, but I'll probably end up on UCLA tonight. That's the only other play on my card. I do have some best bets for Saturday, but we'll talk about that in a minute.
Well, you're a little late. You're a little late to the party on UCLA. They're down.
I was gonna say it started.
It already started.
Geez, it's already 20 after. I didn't realize how late it was.
Yeah. So that game's already started. It's all good. You probably hit them live right now. They're down 6 to ASU right now, so maybe there's a good value.
Jesus Christ, I can't believe it's already after 9 o'clock. Yeah. That was my only other opinion tonight. I gave out Fairfield on Twitter earlier. They're down 2 points with 6 minutes left, so I'm just sweating that out, and then I'm obviously rooting for my boys tonight. That's it.
Boom. All right. And I'll pass it to you now, Chris. Do you have a take on Pepperdine versus Pacific tonight? That game kicks off at 11:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Might be the last game of the night. I don't know if Hawaii is going to be playing, but
right.
Usually those teams are. What do you think?
It's actually at 8:30. It's one of those ones, even 8:30, 11:30 your guys' time, super late.
Yes,
but because they're playing in the Orleans, that this tournament's held in Vegas. I lean USC a little bit because they got beat by 15 by Arizona. Now it's only -2 tonight, but I'll just focus on Pepperdine here. They've lost twice now to Pacific. They lost on the road in Pacific and Stockton by 8, and they lost at home by 5. So they've been beat twice.
And then they make them a fave on a neutral.
And guess what Pepperdine's record is? 9-21. So let's go ahead and make them the favorite over Pacific, who's 14-17 on a neutral. Just doesn't make sense. And by the way, I saw 2.5 earlier. It's going my way. I just looked. I see 3.5 now. I got 3, so it's going up. Hopefully that's the sharp money driving it. And go Waves, Pepperdine, SoCal, baby.
Pepperdine is a covering machine too. I forget how many they've covered straight.
Yeah, I had them against at home against Gonzaga, catching 16 the other day, so they lost by 8. So.
When I saw they were a favorite, I was like, "Yep, Chris is gonna be all over this."
As we go back to the chat, Michael's sweating bets like me. I'm looking at the board. It's a tie game. 26 seconds left. Illinois and Michigan. Yeah, and you missed the free throw. It's still tied. Oh boy, There's a sweat factor for me. I gotta focus. I want to
March Madness, baby.
Free Mind, my guy. What it do? He's on everything on the Sports Wagering Network. He hangs out with me every single damn night. Feels like he should be sleeping on my couch. All right, now let's go to my picks on this one, and we're going to break this down. 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to Arizona with USC. Callan Center, Los Angeles, California. 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it's 8 o'clock Pacific time if you want to go with Chris's time zone. But we're going to be going USC as the dog, +2.5 as the play. Listen, USC is coming into this game on a 4-game win streak, 4-0 against the spread in that stretch. Zona is in a potential look ahead, in my opinion. They got to play UCLA on Saturday, so they may be looking ahead over this USC team, possibly. That's just a take. But USC at home this season, 8-1 against the spread in their last 9 home games. And you got to look at the revenge factor in this one. Arizona did win the first matchup, 81-66, absolutely dominated USC as 8-point favorites. Now the line is 2.5. The 5.5-point swing from game A to game B, and I love it when it goes above 4. For from game A to game B as far as the spread is concerned, differential. I like USC plus 2.5 as my doggy of the day. And let's go into, actually, I got two dogs on this one. Didn't realize that. Now we're going to go into Washington State, Washington. The Apple Bowl for basketball. This one kicks off at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Seattle, Washington, Alaska Airlines Arena. And we're going to be going with the dog again. Washington plus 1.5 on this one. Let's just break it down from a statistical analytics. Washington State is 78th in offensive efficiency, 217th in field goal percentage, 89th in rebounds, 317th at the free throw line. Bad free throw shooting teams. I don't like to back them because when you need to cover a spread, guess what you need? A team that makes free throws, folks. Now you got Washington's defense. They're ranked 48th in defensive efficiency, 28th in defending shots. Not a great rebounding team, though, so that is a concern I have. 349th in the country as far as defensive rebounding. Now you got to look at Washington's offense, 196 in offensive efficiency, while Washington State's defense is ranked 53rd. So there is a little variance there, too. But however, these two teams met on February 11th. Washington State did win the game 56-51, 6.5-point favorites. Now the line is 1.5 going back into Husky Nation. 5-point swing, folks. Also, some great stats on this one, too. Washington is 27-6 off a loss against the spread, 6-1 against the spread in their last 7 games, whereas Washington State is 3-8 against the spread on the road this season. So I think it's a revenge spot. You see how piss poor Washington State is on the road, and then you have Washington off a loss, and you see how they cover in those spots. So give me Washington, the Huskies, plus 1.5 as the play. Bang! That's going to do it for the show. Michael says, let's do USC money line. I say, why the hell not? Because I think they're going to be winning this game. But I always take the points because I'm a conservative bastard. So thank you, everybody that's been watching. The chat has been absolutely lovely today. And thanks for everybody watching. We had like 10 viewers at one point, and then they got bored after we started talking too much about conference tourneys. But that's okay. Please like and subscribe to the channel regardless, and you can watch back at any time on the Sports Wagering Network. But we'll just close it out with the plugs. I'll start with you, Joey. Tell the people where they can find you and anything else you want to say to the people.
Yeah, Guns, thanks for having us on, man. Obviously, always a pleasure. Yeah, check me out on Twitter, Joey Cheese, DGen4Life84. I do the podcast with my boys from Fade U most Saturday mornings. Most of us are dads, so it's hit or miss. Yeah, come check me out on Twitter. Went on a 33-6 run. Followed that up with a 2-9. Let's just pretend like that didn't happen. But we're back on track here, looking for 3 in a row tonight. Hopefully we cash Fairfield. But yeah, come check me out on Twitter and come check out my boys. Thanks.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I had a 20-6 run going into the weekend, and then I went on a 2-9 run. So it happens to all of us, but sounds like Joey's cashing tickets.
Cashing, baby.
All right, Chris, tell them where they can find you.
Yeah, at Hazmat Suit 23 is my personal. Also at Fade U with the U Sports. Do all kinds of great stuff. We always in contests. We're always doing our picks that we blast our stuff, poopy stuff, sharp stuff, fade, all kinds of stuff. And yeah, it's gonna be a great March, baby. Let's go.
We love it. We love it. And I appreciate having you on the show on the DadBodds episode number 113. So if we're going to be cashing some tickets tonight, hit the late night degenerate specials. I'm on USC plus 2.5, Washington plus 1.5. And of course, Chris is on Pepperdine. So go get those locked in before tip off on this beautiful Thursday night. So that's going to do it for the show, boys. Thanks for joining us. The Sports Wagering Network will be Breaking Ankles is tomorrow, 11 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll break down the Saturday card. We'll do the afternoon late slate for Saturday. Late so many goddamn shows. Breaking Ankles, the afternoon slate, and we do it again on Saturday. And if you know our record and what we've been doing, we've been absolutely cooking, hitting 58% overall for the show, and we went on an absolute rocking heater last week and the week before. So please watch the show. And also check out all the content that comes off the Sports Wagering Network. Until next time, for DadBodds episode number 114, I say good luck. Let's cash some tickets. And as always, let's keep dancing. Bang!